Welcome back to Joe Stunner Boxing. When you talk about being a professional in anything, not just boxing, but we're talking basically about doing the right thing, being disciplined, doing what you're supposed to do. So if you're a carpenter or whatever, you keep your tools sharpened. If you're an electrician, you have all the right gear that you need. If you're an athlete, you got to look after yourself physically. And if you're a boxer, you need to not blow up in weight. You need to be in that gym constantly, living the life, eating correctly, and so on and so forth. Why? Because you may be waiting for years for an opportunity to make a big splash in the game, and suddenly out of the blue it'll come and hit you. And such is the case with Bradley RAE from Lancashire in England, 27 years of age. He's got 20 wins with 10 KOs, one defeat, which was at middleweight for the English middleweight title to Tyler Denny. That was back in 2022, the back end of 2022. And he got a call a couple of days ago to face Daniel Blenda Dos Santos of France. Sounds very Mexican or Brazilian or Argentinian, but no, he's from France, for the EBU light heavyweight title. Okay, and this is because Shakan Pitters, who was originally meant to face Dos Santos, fell out of the fight because he's got an injury which will require surgery. And he's a real hard luck story, Shakan Pitters, former British champion, huge for the weight at 175, 6'6". But he, about a month ago, maybe a little bit more than a month ago, 6 weeks ago perhaps, he was due to fight Dos Santos for the EBU belt, which Dos Santos currently holds. And in fact, Dos Santos dropped out with an injury. So Pitters just had a little sort of rushed cheddar, a little bit of a marking time fight against a journeyman and stopped the guy. So he was looking forward to finally getting an EBU title shot, and he's had to drop out with injury, which is a shame. But for Brad RAE, Christmas has come early. All right, because if you look at his record, he got 20 wins with 10 KOs and one defeat, like I say, to Tyler Denny at middleweight. And Denny's a good European level fighter. He's held the EBU title at middleweight. This is up at 175, but certainly Brad RAE jumped over the super middleweight division. It's not like he's still a middleweight or moved up to super middleweight and now he's got a chance at 175. No, he's been fighting at 175 for a while now, for a couple of years, but the quality of the opposition has been very, very poor. 2 fights ago, he had a fight with a journeyman who didn't have a single win on his record. And they're all his opponents, I think, with possibly the exception of Adam Heppel, who he fought last time out. They've all had losing records. All of his opponents at 175, that is. Now, down at middleweight, he was having some decent tussles and getting some pretty decent domestic names on his record at middleweight. Lee Cutler was undefeated when Brad stopped him in a round. Jez Smith took Brad the distance. That was a good little fight, Craig McCarthy, I think, was undefeated and Brad did him in a round. But, so there were some good sort of English level, nudging British level wins that Brad has had, but he's been basically treading water his whole career. He's 27 now as opposed to Dos Santos, who's 34. And there's no doubt that this is, like I say, Christmas come early. This is the chance he's been waiting for, to get that EBU belt, maybe change his life, could be a springboard to bigger things. You never know. Now, Dos Santos has been a French champion, excuse me. I think I'm right in saying he's been French champion, but he is the current light heavyweight EBU champ. He won the vacant belt in 2023, I think it was. I can't remember the name of the opponent. That was on a majority decision, and he's defended it once. He actually won the belt, I think, in Germany, which is a rare trip abroad for him because normally he does fight in France. But he has been on British shores before when he fought Joshua Buatsi. When he was undefeated, he came in to fight the then undefeated Buatsi, and he got knocked out in 4 rounds. That was in 2021, mid-2021. So we're talking 4 years ago. But he is a good European level fighter. not world level, but no doubt, there's no doubt at all that this is a huge jump up for Brad RAE, especially at the 175 poundage, because Dos Santos is 6'3" himself. I mean, Pitters is 6'6", so that would have been interesting. 6'3" versus 6'6", but no, 6'3" is still, that's, we're talking Bob Foster sort of dimensions. And I'm not sure how tall RAE is. I don't know whether he's probably about 5'11", I think, if I can remember, 5'10", 5'11" maybe. So he's got his work cut out. Brad is orthodox, the same as Dos Santos. He's quite an aggressive fighter. I've seen more of Brad RAE than I have of Dos Santos, or I have seen Dos Santos fight. I think that Brad is going to have to, it's 12-rounder, obviously, he's going to have to jump on him quick and start quickly and just try and put the pressure on him and work that long, lean body. Dos Santos himself can be quite aggressive. He can let his hands go. He's not what you would call a conservative fighter, shelling up and insisting on boxing on the back foot. Against Buatsi, he came to fight. He just got blown out of the water by a better fighter. So Brad, it's getting that balance right between going forward and being proactive and not being too reckless. And I think that Brad hasn't got any kind of option there. He's going to have to start quickly, maybe put it on Dos Santos, Dos Santos has faced, European level fighters. Brad has faced probably English level fighters, English title level fighters. Do I think Brad can win? Yes, I do. Do I think he will win? As with most fights that intrigue us the most, this is a difficult one to pick, because away from home, when you bear in mind that I think I'm right in saying Dos Santos has only been out of France twice, you have to factor in that. And also, of course, this is at the York Hall, and that is an absolute cauldron of support. The hometown fighter, I mean, he's from Lancashire, but Brad RAE's the Englishman, so one assumes he will have most of the support. That can be a very, a very hot place, literally hot, figuratively and psychologically hot for any outsider. So it'll be interesting to see how he handles that, Dos Santos. He did win the belt in Germany, though, on majority decision. But RAE, see, if this was, it's the size. I mean, size does matter. And RAE, I know he's been up at 175 for a couple of years, but the quality of the opposition is so poor. I can see Brad RAE, like I say, going at it early on, trying to get close, trying to put pressure on, maybe landing some body punches. He does have good skills, Brad RAE. I'll say this. I think he's probably better than English level. He might be a British level sort of fighter. As far as Dos Santos is concerned, no reason to believe he's not European level. I can see this being a hard-fought contest, probably for the first 8 rounds. Possibly RAE he might even be ahead after 8. But I've got a feeling Dos Santos, if he can mentally hold it together, will pull away in the last third of the fight and might win a decision. He does fight quite upright, which I always think is a bit dangerous. Or he can get in small and have a bit of a row with you. Now, he came a cropper against Buatsi. Buatsi was he 6'1", something like that. So, but against Brad RAE, I'm going to go with, I was tempted to pick RAE, but no, I've got to go. I'll go with my head rather than my heart. I think Dos Santos wins this on points, and it might even be a split decision or something along those lines. But I think he'll probably in the final third of the fight, he'll pull away. Don't forget, RAE has taken this fight very late, and I know he is a good professional, and he's going to be in shape and so on. But when you take a European title fight at 5-6 days notice, maybe a little bit more, I mean, it's not exactly a training camp, is it? So I think Dos Santos wins this fight, probably on points. But let me know what you think, whether you agree with me, disagree with me. Just let me know, comments below. And yeah, thanks for watching. I always appreciate it. Please hit the like button if you like the video and subscribe to the channel if you're new. That would help us out a great deal. And I'm looking forward to reading what you've got to say. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. Bye for now.